Hey bosses, what is up? The boss here. This isn't actually going to be one of my normal commentaries, and I apologize for that. Anyway, here's some background. I just was busy the last few days, and I come on to watch some videos, and I stumble upon Zybak's one of his latest videos about him and his videos getting flagged continuously and being taken down. And just a little side note, this isn't the first time this has happened to him. So anyway, as I see the dislike and like bar, so I scroll down, and in the comments I see all the trolling, and I see a bunch of Braindeadly fans, you know, the Notorious mastermind of publicity stunts, pretty much all trolling Zybak, and I'm wondering why he would be doing this. Like, what would be the reason for this? I didn't hear a single thing about Braindeadly in the entire video. So as I attempt to avoid any biases, I go over to check over to Braindeadly's channel, and I see a video of around 30 seconds, give or take, just calling bullshit on the entire situation. So ultimately, I came to the conclusion that this was another one of those publicity stunts that is pretty much known for, if we think back a few months ago, actually, probably a month and a half ago or something like that, the Machinima drama where he was leaving Machinima. I knew he'd be back within 2 weeks or so to be making videos. However, I didn't say anything because I had been watching Braindeadly for quite a while at that point, and I really just hoped that I was wrong, but ultimately he proved me incorrect. So anyway, I kept thinking about it, and it completely stumped me as to why he would do this, what his motives were, and what he would gain for doing this other than just ruining someone else's career as YouTube. So really, I just came to the conclusion that he was just in it for the money. I don't see why, as he has a pretty large subscriber base of a high amount of in the 30,000s, which is quite a bit if you ask me. Imagine having 35,000 people in one room there to watch you. That's just absurd, in my opinion. That's just ridiculous. So I don't see why why someone would be so greedy as to just want more and more and more and not be content with just a growing channel. Like, I don't understand. I'm happy with 450 subs, and I'm just completely grateful for all the support that I already get. I don't see a point in trying to ruin someone else's career entirely just to boost your own. That's how the world works. People are just completely fucking assholes, in my opinion. It may come off as entirely cynical, but it seems like a lot of people are just out there just for personal gain. They don't care if they ruin someone else entirely. It just doesn't matter to them at all. Now, don't get me wrong, it seems like the minority are out there to undermine people, not the majority. The majority aren't corrupted by destruction of greed and everything. It seems like it sometimes, but I don't feel like that's the majority. For instance, the main reason I started my YouTube is due to watching the handful of amazing commentators that I watched on YouTube, with C-Nanners, Mercator, Zybak, Bajura, the list just goes on and on. I really wouldn't have ever started my YouTube if it weren't for all the other great people on YouTube on this amazing network. And I realize a large percent of you are most likely Braindeadly fans, as I once was, and I apologize if I come off as ranting or defaming him, for lack of a better word. However, it entirely baffles me as to how people don't realize that they're doing exactly what Braindeadly wants them to. They're going over to his channel to troll him, etc., and feeding him views. All of these views are just a large revenue increase for him and just giving him a lot more publicity as exactly what he wants, which is ironic because everyone's going over there to accuse him of being a publicity stunt artist, which I am at fault for doing as well, and this is really just helping him in the long run and giving him exactly what he wanted. So my real conclusion is, like, if you realize he's a publicity artist, you shouldn't be clicking on his videos and supporting him, even if he's just causing drama and starting a quote-unquote war on Zybak. Like, yeah, clicking on his video and trolling him is really helping him in the long run. It's pretty much an identical form of a gaming version of the Rebecca Black Friday song in place of music. It's just gaming. The publicity is just used to make money and money and money. So really what I'm trying to say is, if you dislike a YouTuber or someone online, if you're trying to make them angry, trolling isn't going to help. You're really just giving them exactly what they want and views in general. So really, it doesn't matter which side you're on. If you think Braindeadly's in the right, if you think Zybak's in the right, don't go troll the opposite. Like, there's no point. You're not doing anything. You're really just helping them in the long run. Everyone has their opinion. I think Zybak's in the right. I may have my bias, as I've been watching him for a while, and I realized that I always thought he spoke the truth, and I thought he was a great commentator. I used to like Braindeadly's commentaries and all of his hilarious videos, but just my opinion. You can have your own opinion. There's no pressure in my thought towards opinion. You can think what you want. I don't care what you think of me. That's your opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Anyway, I feel like I've said enough on the matter, so let me get into some more updates. I have been trying to get up to Boss 1, my 33-minute montage on my old channel, downloaded, but every time I end up downloading it, it takes an hour to download every time I try it or so, it ends up failing, as only about half of it works, and it turns into that failed rendering BS where it's just like half of it, the second half of it is entirely black screened and nothing works, just the media fails. So don't lose hope in that. If you want to watch a video, I'll link it in the description of my old channel if you haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna try and get it back up on this channel still. And I actually just hit level 70 on my hunter, so expect sometime in the next month when I hit 85 on him and get him at least full ruthless honor gear. Expect some arena commentaries on him, although it'll probably be pretty scrubbish as I'll be pretty bad at hunter, I'd say, until I learn the class entirely. Anyway, let me try and get into this game here. So we're playing up against Shadow Cleave, Locke, DK, and Arresto Shaman. We've gotten Trinket out of the Shaman already, and the DK has popped quite a few of his defensive cooldowns. However, if you look, Skeets is extremely low right about now. He's sitting around on half health, but he just ended up getting topped off. If you remember, he's in about full Ruthless with T1 Ruthless weapons, so he's in full honor gear. Here we land a full Fear on the Shaman. Remember, no Trinket and no Tremor, so we realize we can put some large burst in this DK here. As I land a full kidney on him, he Trinkets that, although I got feared off. So he pretty much wastes his Trinket, as I wouldn't have had any uptime in the first place anyway. Knowing Skeets is really undergeared and he can take some massive damage, I'm just swapping kicks in between the Locke and the Shaman. As you can see, I kicked the Locke on some of his casts and the Shaman on some others. Right here in the game, I see the Locke is getting some hard casts out, so I go to redirect the kidney on him. However, I kick him and I still put that kidney on him. That was a giant waste as he was locked out from the kick on the Fear. However, he did Trinket the kidney, so we did get a Trinket out of him. Knowing both teams are running out of our major cooldowns, I go to put the Shaman into a full blind who has no Trinket at this point of the game. DK is popping the last of his defensive such as AMS, and right here he puts Unholy Frenzy on the Shaman, but the blind only had about 1 second left on it. It did prevent the sap, however I did get howled off at the same time so I couldn't sap anyway. Another one of our big burst attempts right here are countered by the IBF as he runs out of the bomb. Knowing he has IBF up here, which is an increased armor and he can't be stunned, I'm just going to use my combo points to put Rupture in him, which goes through armor. At this point of the game, they're rushing out to get damage on our Hunter. Neither of our teams really have many major cooldowns left, except the Shaman has Spirit Link still. So we're trying to get some pressure on the DK, who's pretty much just rushing out in the middle of the map. With a Shadow Step kick on the Shaman, we thought we'd be able to get a kill here. However, I'm getting spam howled and feared off by the Warlock. The Shaman comes out of the CC and throws down Spirit Link. At this point, we're pretty fed up with the game, seeing it's taking quite a while, and we realize the Locke has no Earth Shield and the Shaman's running out of mana. So I say let's just start swapping back and forth on the Earth Shield. With the kick on the Shaman, we swap to the Locke. He can't swap Earth Shield due to the kick, and we're doing some insane damage to this Locke, who has no cooldowns, and he's just in the open as he just falls over. So no matter what comp you run, a decent gib on someone who's low health when their healer is in any type of CC and doesn't have any type of pre-hots or heals on them, you can land a kill quite easily.